Welcome, everyone, to the SCP podcast. My name is Ujjayini Brawley, and I am the 2023 SCP Conference Co-Chair. I am joined by the fabulous Dr. Natasha Annis, but you can call her Natasha. She is leading the workshop at the conference entitled How Leaders Impact Individual and Organizational Well-Being, an Experiential Workshop. Hi, Natasha, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. I'd love to just start off by learning a little bit about you and sharing with our viewers who you are.
Absolutely. So thanks for having me today. And I am a psychologist, and I'm really excited to be coming to the conference this year, not only as an attendee, but also as someone who's going to both deliver a workshop, and I'm actually going to teach a little yoga as well. And that speaks to some of my interests, I think, putting that out up front is I've been a psychologist for over 20 years, and my specialty is I'm a clinical psychologist, but I've really specialized in health psychology and leadership development, and being able to bring all of those areas of interest to the conference just feels like a gift and an opportunity to connect with other people who want to engage in similar conversations. We can learn from one another, share practices together. So I have a small company called The Wellness Studio where I offer coaching. I'm also a leadership coach. I also offer coaching and yoga and workshops. So this conference really offers an opportunity to bring all of those different identities at one time in one place to connect with people who, as I said, are similar and interested in having these discussions, these rich discussions and experiences.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Natasha. Our conference theme this year is Conscious Consulting, Authentic Connections for Transformational Communities. And we are delighted for you to join us. How do you connect with the conference theme?
Yeah, as soon as I saw the conference theme announced, I thought, okay, I've been wanting to present a workshop. I do a lot of workshops to organizations, but I've wanted to sort of create my own for a conference and was looking for the right one. So when I saw the theme, I thought this really resonates, and ended up, putting this together. So it just, I already mentioned a little bit, it really just captures so much of how I live my life, both professionally and personally. So as a psychologist, I value cultivating, developing deep and authentic relationships, connections with other people, with my clients, in my personal life, within an office that I'm working, or with my team. I've had the opportunity to serve as a leader in a couple of different positions over my career, and really learned the importance of developing an authentic relationship with the people you are engaging with every day. Makes a world of difference, and really can transform culture and that ability for people to feel like they're seen, they feel like they belong, they're motivated, they want to be part of this team with me, I want to be part of the team with them. So I do really believe that authentic connections does transform communities. And so the workshop that I'm offering really focuses in on the workplace of how to do that as leaders, how to create an environment where you are aware and have some tools of how to intentionally build authentic connections. I think so many times we get busy and wrapped up in all the tasks and things that we have to do. We miss that relationship connection piece and the power that comes with that. So that is, in essence, what the workshop is designed to really highlight for participants. So it will be, the workshop will be a lot of material that I present in workshops to leaders and to teams, but because the audience here at the conference will be, I assume, mostly psychologists and people who are interested in learning the research behind this, it'll also really include a lot more information around that, not only the material that I present out, but the why behind it, how to present the material in a similar way if it's something that you're interested in doing in your professional activities. And so that is how it all sort of ties together. And then also, as we mentioned, I'm going to, be doing, offering some yoga classes. I became a registered yoga teacher over COVID. I've long practiced yoga for my own sort of stress management and movement. I love the practice in so many ways. And when COVID happened, I decided to do yoga every day because I knew I needed something to really help me manage, as we all did, ways to get through that experience. And as a result, Yoga Alliance actually, for the first time ever, started offering online certification programs. So it was a unique place to finally be able to explore that area of my life outside of my, primary identity as a psychologist. And I just fell in love with it, and I love teaching it and integrating principles of psychology into yoga practice. And so I was, through this experience of being able to not only do the workshop, but offer, some yoga classes, is, the opportunity to connect with my fellow compadres on different levels, through the yoga practice, through different venues outside of that more formal conference setting.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it all intertwines, and I see how your workshop and your practice and your background all connects with the conference theme on so many different levels. So we're very much excited to have you, not only as a workshop presenter, but also yoga instructor, and just bringing all of your knowledge and expertise to the conference. My next question to you is, what problem do you hope to solve?
Sure. So when I think about common problems that I encounter when I'm working as a psychologist in organizations, with leaders, with teams, one key issue that leaders often don't really fully appreciate is the significant role that they play in creating and sustaining a healthy workplace, that culture, that feeling that people can come to them and talk to them when they have an issue or a problem or a new idea. So it's really that both that individual, as we've been talking about, that authentic connection, the importance of taking time to build that, both at that individual level, but then also, amongst a team, amongst the larger group. And so specifically, when leaders have a strong sense of self-awareness, sometimes people don't. They haven't spent a lot of time there. They're not thinking about that piece. And their styles and their behaviors, play this very direct and powerful role in an employee's sense of well-being. And well-being is connected to employees' ability to, to lean in and do hard things, to stay motivated over the course of a career, to feel engaged and connected to the purpose of what they're being asked to work on. So I really see well-being as this very large umbrella that many things fall under. And in my experience in this space is, there's this idea of, well, maybe well-being or wellness is something that should happen outside of the workplace, or it's a distraction from, the bottom line or getting things done. Right. And trying to help leaders, teams, groups of people, individuals understand the connection of, no, if we take time to create an environment where people actually want to come to every day and work hard in, that actually improves motivation, that improves output, that enhances, all of our work and our productivity. And we can have both. I think a lot of times they're viewed as competing priorities, but in reality, there's a lot of synergy there. So that is a problem that I encounter in many different places. Every organization has its own culture and are closer to that understanding versus it being on polar opposites. And so that's part of the interesting challenge, I think, as psychologists when we work in this space is, really understanding and getting to know the lay of the land, so we understand where those disconnections are and what language we're using so that it resonates, and people are like, oh, okay, this is worth our time and energy to take a little time and have a talk with one another, to have a meaningful conversation, to check in and see how people are doing. All of those things go a long way.
I completely agree with you. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think what's great is that there's so much research happening in this space now that we have lots of data to back up what we're saying. It's not just this is a nice to have. There really is a great deal of evidence of why this is so impactful, why being, a strong leader with high EQ and understanding how to regulate your own emotions and how to manage the collective stress level, because workplaces are stressful. How to challenge people intellectually at the right amount, at that, where they feel challenged but not overwhelmed. All of those things is what we will be peeling apart in the workshop and talking about different ways. There's many ways to translate this, to attempt to translate this into organizations. So I'll share some of the things that I do, and then I'll look forward to learning from other people who are in the workshop, ideas that they have too, because I think that is really the key in helping to solve this bigger problem, is how do we communicate it so that it makes sense, and it's not this image of, oh gosh, we all have to go do yoga on the beach together or something, or in our conference room. I love yoga, right? And that would be fun, but that's not probably going to make your team function better outside of that class, right? So it's like the bigger picture of what the organization well-being looks like, and then how that unfolds, all the pieces to that.
Amazing. I can tell this is very passionate for you. And so I really want to know, like, this may be your secret. You want to share with us. What is your recipe for a successful day?
Okay. When I reflect on days that feel really fulfilling, and I feel a lot of gratitude for every day, honestly, but it's when I'm surrounded by people who I just really appreciate, and sometimes adore them, feel challenged by them, but it's that deep sense of connection when I have a day that is filled with those types of interactions. When I'm able to offer some assistance and someone says, oh, that was helpful, right? I think as psychologists, we tend to have that core value to want to help others. And so I have an opportunity to do that, either personally, professionally, or, both. I'm a mom, so, doing that with my kids too, just those opportunities where you have small moments of connection. I've learned that you don't have to have long, drawn out conversations to really have deep, meaningful moments together. And it's a lot of times it's being present with people and really listening and being there for them. So that is really sort of the recipe for how I feel at the end of the day. And then I'll add in movement. We sit way too much at our desks. I do this as well. So when I either create time or remember or intentionally find space to move, whether that's through yoga, I love to take walks through the woods. I have a little furry critter named Lola. She's wonderful, and she goes off the leash and runs, and just, taking a long walk in the woods and being mindful during that process. For my own time of self-reflection, those are the things that come to mind when I think about best days.
Excellent. Wonderful. You just took me on a journey just now. I just want to somehow I found myself on a nature walk and just being at peace and just really painting those pictures of being mindful about what it means to have a successful day. I really appreciate you sharing some of your secrets to a successful day, and then as well as plugging in your workshop, your involvement in the conference, and your involvement within the Society of Consulting Psychology. Once again, I want to thank you, Natasha, for joining in on this podcast today. We are so excited to have you as a workshop presenter, yoga instructor, and then you just bringing your overall presence to the conference. Once again, is there anything else that you want to share before we close out the podcast?
No, I just want to thank you for your time and for all the hard work that I can imagine and appreciate that you all put into making this a success. I think we've also felt the loss of quality connection over the last couple of years. We've done our best, but the chance to come to an in-person conference together and to experience the energy that comes with that, and just appreciate you all taking the time and the energy to pull this all together and time to interview all of us. I know that this takes a lot of work on and time out of your days too to do this. So thank you, and I really look forward to it as well.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And those that are watching the podcast, please make sure that you sign up for Dr. Natasha Annis's workshop entitled How Leaders Impact Individual and Organizational Well-Being, an Experiential Workshop. I'll be there. I hope to see you all there too.
Yeah, and it's on Thursday afternoon if you're looking for it on the schedule. So that's
Thursday
great.
afternoon.
Yes, can't wait to see you all there.
Wonderful. And then yoga is also Friday and Saturday, I believe 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.